Alright, time to get this thing back to Diamond City. And I'll place it there. Oh, that could go bad. Although I could place it there. That's the truck going up. There's one good thing, even though they explode like that, it does take a little while for them to go, so unless you're completely oblivious to what's going around you, it's not so bad. Oh, it seemed like this one might actually be easier to try to get more of a revenue stream, since on YouTube you need 1,000 subscribers and you need 4,000 hours of viewing every year. The other part doesn't seem so bad, but the 1,000 subscribers, I don't think I'm gonna see that anytime soon. So this seemed like it might actually be an easier alternative, since I tend to be a smaller stream. But I'm still posting videos on it. I need to update the ones that I have currently uploaded on private now. I'll drop this suit off in Diamond City, and they'll give me some heavier options for when I need it in Boston itself. I've tried to limit what places I take over, simply because I was trying to do an Institute playthrough, so I didn't want to actually take on a number of places, a number of outposts, I guess you could say, or settlements, until I met with the Institute itself. And with this playthrough, unlike the first playthrough, I haven't really joined Minutemen. Actually, no. Originally, this build was for survival, and I'll switch over to it. So it's a little bit lopsided. It's decent intelligence, not as much as I would prefer. And my charisma is a little bit low. But this was originally a survival one, and luck is way down there. I've been meaning to raise that one, but I've been raising my endurance to get the perk for handling my brain stopped. It's the last perk on the list. I keep forgetting it's the sun-powered one. The solar-powered one, which allows you to recover from radiation and have that radiation heal you. These two, this one and Ghoulish, are very good for handling radiation and survival. So that's why this build is very lopsided. Because again, this was originally going to be a survival one. But then I switched it back to regular mode and just upped the difficulty. If I were to build it again and build it how I like it, I would have higher intelligence and higher agility and a good decent perception, and then start working on strength because I do a melee build like this right here with Pikmin's blade. I don't think the Tango up here has respawned yet. There's a super mutant that respawns here every now and then with a rocket launcher. So it can be risky to go this path if you're over encumbered. But fortunately you can spot them. I can tell you one thing, I'm never running a character with luck 1 again. No. I don't take that perk ever. If I did a raider playthrough, that might be different, but there's just something about that that's too creepy. I'm almost back at Diamond City, then I can drop all this stuff off. Then it's back to the Cabot house. That's a pretty interesting quest line, I think. Although, now that I remember it, I think there might be some time between some of the missions. If that's the case, I might go down to Vault 88. And level up there. Now, here's where the super mutant spawns. I just mistook it for a different place. That could have been bad. Even it's under endurance, I think. Yeah. Ugh. This is even worse. The thought of eating a ghoul or super mutant that's just one bridge too far. Just as bad as eating chitlins. And there are easier ways to restore your health. That is this one right here. This is the one I love instead. But it only works in the daytime. But whenever you're in sunlight, you regain your health and it cures your radiation damage. This paired with ghoulish means that your radiation heals you even more. And ghoulish kicks in when radiation is not working. And plus when you're in the sun, both of them combine. And you can really heal radiation really fast. I was doing that for the survival playthrough, and then I decided that survival wasn't really working yet for streaming. So, in survival, right away increases your thirst and your hunger. So, going the endurance route seemed a priority, a high priority, just to avoid that problem. I probably will do an off-stream playthrough for survival at least 1 or 2 times, so I can get better at it before I actually do one blind again. Well, it won't be blind then. I'll have a better idea and set aside some better strategies than what I was going with. In a way, it's kind of distressing that even 200 years after, it's not much better than what it was 100 years after. Another reason I'm going this route is I likely be attacked by mongrels. In this area right here. I noticed they tend to respawn at a fairly good pace. That is not there every single time. Okay, my armor is almost ready to be set up. With that here in Diamond City, that means if something comes up within the city itself, then I'll have it nearby. And for emergencies. Plus, if I'm going to avoid picking up settlements, this is the closest place in the south that I can safely leave or something.
talk to people I don't know.
Yeah, I need to keep my chameleon. Now this one is a bit less, but I'm fine if it increases my action points. So I'll keep myself a shroud armor. Weight of 6. I should have checked the weight. No, this is much better. This is Morgan's spacesuit is definitely worth it if you can get your hands on it. That thing has saved my life. I don't know how many times because of radiation storms. It's not even funny. One of the things I don't really like carrying around too much. Actually, that might be worth keeping. It's too much medication. Don't tend to carry around too many of those except for jet for emergencies. That and I don't like carrying around Nuka-Cola because it weighs a significant amount. Which what I'm carrying right now is quite a lot, mostly because of all these weapons. Yeah, I'm never really going to use this one, although I might think about it. Just double checking this and make sure I'm not doubling up on any. Personal automatic, and I've got another shell too. The sword I'm keeping around because of its damage versus robots. I think everything else is not doubled up. So 3 melee weapons and 2 knives and a little sword. Now it's back to the Cabot house because I need to deliver that mysterious serum.
Hi.
You hear Travis lately on the radio? Brother was
Diamond City is the place to live, I tell you. You made the right choice.
Hmm?
who's there?
This is interesting. Yeah, they're going to attack me too. Four-way battle then. There's a Brotherhood that just joined in. Oh, this is bad. Oh, that was a bit of chaos. And I think the Raiders now. Wow. So fifth faction. I can't remember if I've been up here or not. Sometimes it's easy to miss over things, but I think I have. Just don't remember it. And super mutants. The only thing missing now is ghouls. And since I'm doing an instant playthrough, I'm not going all the way to the railroad. And in fact, I'm going to be against the railroad in this playthrough, so I prefer to avoid them. Stopping at a good neighbor. I came here automatically without even thinking. I need to go to Cabot House, which means I need to go to the north further.
Hey,
Just let me know.
Piper.
Hungry? These always keep me going.
Is everything okay between us?
I'm with the person I love, helping those in need. I couldn't imagine a better life.
Nothing else for now.
Okay.
There's another version of the Cabot House playthrough. I don't think that's where you choose a different side. You might, I think you might get more of the serum that path, or not. If I do a Raider playthrough, I might go through the other side of that one in the Raider playthrough. Just not fond of Raiders though.
That is not acceptable. Emogene is missing, and I want her found.
She's not missing, Mother.
Do you know where she is?
No, but that doesn't
Your sister is missing, and I want her found.
So did you find out what happened to the courier?
To keep the family safe.
Mother, Edward has better things to
Some raiders set up camp near Parsons and ambushed him. I took care of them.
I don't like raiders operating so close to Parsons. I hope this isn't the start of something serious. What about the serum he was carrying? Did you get any of it back?
There was only this one vial left.
Oh, good. I was afraid we wouldn't get any of it back. Here's your pay for the job. I'm throwing in a little bonus for bringing back the serum. That was good work. Now, as far as what's next. Oh, hell. I guess it's time you met Wilhelmina. Jack's not gonna be happy about it. Come on.
That's her business.
The stuff in here's older than you, Blue.
If your father were here, he'd send someone to find Emogene.
We've been over this, Mother.
Jack, I'll take care of it. Mrs. Cabot, don't worry. I'll send someone to find Emogene.
Thank you, Edward. I can always count on you. Why can't you be as devoted as dear Edward?
You shouldn't indulge her, Edward. It just makes her more impossible to deal with next time.
Just doing my job. Speaking of which, here's all we got back of the last delivery from Parsons. Raiders got the rest of it, I'm sorry to say.
Ah, good. Finally. This will help settle Mother down.
Emogene is Jack's sister. You probably figured that out yourself. She's, a little flighty. Impulsive. From time to time, she runs off. Usually with a new boyfriend. Then I send somebody to bring her home.
No problem. I'll bring her back.
The trouble usually isn't finding her. It's persuading her to come home. I don't know where she's gone, but I can give you a place to start. She's been spending a lot of time in Good Neighbor, at the jazz club there, the Third Rail. Somebody there must know something. She's not known for keeping her mouth shut.
I know the Third Rail. I'll ask around there.
It's a shame Edward can't become a companion to travel around with. I suppose that's what they make mods for. I'm pretty sure there might be one of those out eventually for the PC, if not necessarily for the PS4.
In case you're wondering, the Diamond City radio signal comes in loud and clear here in Good Neighbor. And that Travis? Man, he got good.
Enjoy your stay.
Huh?
Yeah?
Yes?
I need to take care of something. Real quick. Excuse me. Piper Wright. Public occurrences. Question for ya. What's the brisk trade these days? Jet, Psycho,
Oi,
Mentats?
we got beer. If you ain't buying beer, you ain't buying.
You got any?
Do you know Emogene Cabot?
Name rings a bell. Kind of balmy. Haven't seen her in a while, though. Try Magnolia. She likes to make friends with people. She might know more about this missing bird. Magnolia! This gal wants a word.
It interrupts her song, though. That's the only downside.
Well, what's the matter, sweetheart? Don't tell me you didn't like the song.
I've never heard that song before. Who wrote it?
I did. Everything I sing is an original. Now, there's something special about you, isn't there? Don't tell me. Let me guess. You're a survivor, aren't you? I bet the whole world could stand in your way and you'd just keep going. So what brings a woman like you to my part of town?
I came here for the music.
Flatterer. I think
Music
you
is
and I are
good.
gonna get along. So it's my turn to answer questions, right? What can I do for you?
Do you know Emogene Cabot?
Emogene? Sure. I know her. I haven't seen her in a while, though. Were you a friend of hers?
She's missing, and her family's worried about her.
Well, I'm glad somebody's looking out for her. She seemed like a body that could use looking after.
Do you know where she's gone?
There was this preacher fella who used to come in here all the time. One of the slick ones. Always going on about remaking your life and so on. Most of the customers wouldn't give him the time of day, but Emogene, she latched on to him for some reason. I don't suppose it hurt that he was easy on the eyes. Intense. Some women find that irresistible. Pam, would you come over here a minute?
Is there a problem, Miss Magnolia?
No, this lady here was just looking for Emogene. Do you happen to know where that preacher fella came from?
Brother Thomas?
Yes, that's right. The one Emogene was always hanging on.
Had to throw him out. Wouldn't stop bothering customers with that salvation racket. Kept going on and on about joining him at the back bay. Then he'd shove those stupid flyers in your face. Here, I kept one of them, just in case he didn't pay his bar tab.
Well, thanks, honey. You were a big help.
Anything for you, miss.
I hope Emogene's all right. I didn't much like the idea of her going off with that preacher fella.
Interesting to think is how close she was to her home.
Watch where you swing that thing.
Just a reference to Melee. Similar to all the references you can get in Skyrim about what weapons you prefer and what skills you tend to increase.
must get back to my...
Hush now, Stoic Shroud. I'll take you to my parlor. It is close, and that wound is worrisome.
The parlor. It's been so long.
Indeed it has, old friend.
First of all, I need to increase my charisma as much as I can. Since it's fairly high, but it's not as high as I prefer it.
Hey there.
Welcome, neighbor. We're always glad to see a new face around here. Tell me something. You ever feel like this whole world is broken? Do you ever wonder why things can't be the way they were in the good old days?
I'm just looking for Emogene Cabot.
Oh, I'm sorry, but Emogene is indisposed right now. She's not seeing visitors.
Her family's worried about her.
You can tell them that she's fine. Not that it's any of your business, but she and I are just having a little relationship trouble. You know how it is. She's not seeing anybody until she cools off.
I'm a friend of the family. Maybe I can talk some sense into her.
Please, have a heart.
I said she wasn't seeing anybody, including you.
You're not holding her prisoner, are you?
No, she's not a prisoner. She's just locked in her room until she calms down.
Which is a
She was
prisoner.
acting crazy, threatening to run off. No offense, but you know how women can get sometimes.
Maybe 500 caps will help make her available.
500 caps? Huh. I'm in the wrong business.
Well, that's different. The truth is, we had a little, disagreement about her joining the movement. She got kind of violent. So I locked her in there until I could figure out what to do with her. For 500 caps, I'm happy to make her your problem. Here, let me unlock the door for you. I've got to warn you, she's way stronger than she looks. It took all of us combined to even get her locked up in there.
Well, I prefer to persuade them, but since that didn't work.
Calling the Silver Shroud. Calling the Silver Shroud. I got a special delivery for you. Come see me at the Memory Den.
Galaxy News Radio.
When evil walks the streets of Boston, one man lurks in the shadows, shielding the innocent, judging
all yours,
the guilty.
neighbor.
That guardian is the Silver Shroud. Today's episode in the parlor of
You
mystery.
must be Emogene.
Don't tell me. Jack sent you.
Jasmine.
That's right. I'm here to rescue you.
What makes you think I need to be rescued?
This can only be the den of mysteries.
What, did you ask to be locked in here?
No, of course not.
I removed that
I could have
scumbag
left whenever I
slug,
chose.
but you're
I
sick
was
with
just waiting to
fever
see if
and
Thomas would come to
still
his
suffering.
senses. He actually thought he could force me to join his absurd cult.
But the mayor.
Need anything before we go?
No, I didn't bring anything worth taking with me. Oh, I'm not going with you. You can tell Mother I'll be along home before too long. I just need a drink first.
I knew of the mayor's misdeeds for many days. I followed him to that fateful meeting with Fat Fady. I was about to...
Attention! Silver Shroud and Mistress of Mystery. This is Chief Corcoran of the Boston Police Department. We know you're in there. You are both...
As soon as I turn in this quest at the Cabot House, I'll head back to Good Neighbor because I think there might be a delay. Yep, that happened. Oh, before I was interrupted, drop off requests at the Cabot House, and then it's back to Good Neighbor.
Try again. I think it's clearing up.
Hey there.
Not now. Edward, switch to single sideband modulating. Can you hear me?
Oh
Edward,
my God, it's
switch
happening.
over to the Hartley modulator. Do you
I guess
copy?
not.
Now, how's this?
Oh, that's done it. Edward, what's going on there?
We're under attack. They're inside the building.
Inside? Can you keep them out of the basement?
I'm trying, Jack. I've never seen raiders that... For God's sake, Sammy, the doorway, right there. Sorry. Things are a little busy around here right now.
Listen, if they're inside the building, you have to go to the office and shut down the elevator. You can't risk them getting to Lorenzo.
Got it. Office. Elevator. You better round up whoever you can and get...
Hello? Edward? Come in. Edward! Ah, there's no signal at all. I've lost him.
What's happening, Jack? If these people are inside Parsons, if they free him...
Don't worry, I'll handle it.
I always knew it would end this way. I never should have allowed you to lock up Lorenzo in that place.
That isn't helping, Mother. And as I recall, using the serum was your idea, not mine.
So what are you going to do?
I said I'll handle it. I'm thinking.
Oh. What do you want?
What's going on?
That was Edward. He's at Parsons, the old asylum. They're under attack by raiders. It's strange. The guards have held off raiders before without any trouble. I don't know what's gone wrong this time.
Let's go.
Good. I'll explain on the way. Hold on. Weren't you off looking for Emogene? Did you find her?
Yes, I found her. She's fine.
Oh, good.
At least there's one small comfort on this terrible day.
You'll be wanting to be paid, of course. Edward usually handles these things. Caps is what you use for currency, isn't that right? Here, I hope that's the right amount. Before we go, I need you to understand something. When we get to Parsons, you need to do exactly what I tell you. Nothing more, nothing less. Is that clear?
Got it.
Good. Make sure you have whatever you'll need for a serious battle. I'll wait for you outside.
Jack, be careful. And try not to hurt him.
I love Father at least as much as you do. But you know as well as I do that if he gets free, there will only be one option.
Don't let it come to that, please.
I'll do my best, Mother. And if Emogene finally comes home, for God's sake, don't let her leave again until I get back. Now, I really do have to go.
Oh, I forgot. The delay is, I think, after this one. I know there's a delay here, but in between some of the missions, but I think that's between after you complete it and when Jack calls you back to give you a weapon.
Ready? Let's go. You should know what we're going to be dealing with. My father is confined in Parsons. for his own safety and everyone else's. He became dangerously unstable after handling an ancient artifact he found in Arabia. I've spent my life trying to figure out how to cure him.
Cthulhu reference, basically, and Lovecraft.
It's the artifact that's made Lorenzo so dangerous. I'm sure his psychosis would be cured if it could be removed. But so far, all my attempts have failed. It's fused too tightly with his nervous system.
Be careful around this house.
You
If
may
you
have
do
guessed
the
by now that my family and I have lived for a very long time.
railroad,
Thanks to the serum
this one can
derived
bug
from
out
my
railroad
father's
quest
blood.
line.
I discovered the alterations to his blood in some of my earliest attempts to remove the artifact. I eventually isolated the anomalous compounds, which led to the serum treatment we still use. I'm well aware of the apparent conflict of interest in my father being the source of the treatment that is prolonging my own life. But I assure you that if I had the chance, I would gladly give it all up to have my father back, even for a short time.
Oh boy, that is not good. Jack will be fine. Actually, shouldn't use as many of those. Only got 39 of them. Another potential ambush area. There's another one just up ahead too.